week we'll try to make sense of the concept of intelligence because so far we have mentioned it multiple times in different contexts, saying artificial general intelligence or human level intelligence, or what would happen if we got beings of superhuman intelligence, often called superintelligence. But we have not given one definition of what intelligence is. And that is because this concept has a long history, and there are as many definitions of intelligence as there were experts asked to define it, as you see in this quotation here in the first paper you have for this week. And so you'll see about 18 definitions here that are all provided by some kind of organization or institution or an encyclopedia or an association, and they all try to capture this notion of intelligence. So the first one here, for example, what is intelligence? Is the ability to use memory, knowledge, experience, understanding, reasoning, imagination, and judgment in order to solve problems and adapt to new situations, right? So you have a sense of many cognitive capacities involved in what we define as intelligence, and this element, of course, here of problem solving. And on a similar tone here, the capacity to acquire and apply knowledge. So it's not just to store memories or information. It has to do with a practical component of problem solving and applying the knowledge one has learned. So you'll see the other definitions here. And then a second group of definitions, the psychologist definitions. Intelligence is not a single unitary ability, but rather a composite of several functions. The term denotes that combination of abilities required for survival and advancement within a particular culture. So here you add this, first of all, it's called functions, a composite of several functions that all make intelligence what it is. And this component here of survival and advancement within a particular culture, similar to being able to adjust or to adapt. Similar definition as the previous group here, intelligence and ability of an organism to solve new problems. Again, you see this element of applied knowledge, of an ability to problem solve, which is strongly related to survival, as you can understand. Some more definitions here from psychology, from more of a scientific point of view. And now we go to the AI researcher definitions. This should be an interesting part, especially if you connect it to all the things you've learned in the previous weeks. So what do researchers in artificial intelligence have to say about what intelligence is? So let's grab the first definition again, like we did before. The ability of a system to act appropriately in an uncertain environment where appropriate action is that which increases the probability of success, and success is the achievement of behavioral sub-goals that support the system's ultimate goal. Does this ring a bell? Does this remind you of what we studied last week when we talked about instrumental convergence and the importance of agents pursuing goals on the way to accomplishing some terminal goals? And these goals that they pursue on the way are these exactly sub-goals or instrumental goals? So here in the definitions of artificial intelligence, in this category, this is clear and this is part of the definition of intelligence. So take a moment to think a little bit about this. How instrumental convergence is part of the definition of what it means to be an intelligent being. And you'll see more definitions. You may remember John McCarthy from the first week. Minsky is another thinker you may have encountered before, the ability to solve hard problems, and so on. But think a little bit about this connection to instrumental convergence. And regardless of whether one single definition is possible, what we're interested in is having this broader understanding of the history of the concept and how it could be relevant to understanding why more powerful AI systems could pose some kind of existential threat. And so, if you understood why this component of pursuing instrumental goals with terminal goals in mind is an essential part of what makes an agent intelligent, it will not be difficult for you to understand what's in this paper here in artificial intelligence as a positive and negative factor in global risk. So this paper discusses some more general ideas about intelligence, again, and how it connects to human intelligence as well. So you should take some time here to understand these ideas and try to compare artificial intelligence and human intelligence. And like we thought about last week, this is a very important question. How can we predict what artificial intelligences will do, given instrumental convergence, given that they might optimize for goals that we don't really understand on the way to accomplishing other terminal goals? So this is something here in this paper that introduces the idea of existential risk to a large extent, and makes us have some questions about how does optimization work? How do intelligent agents optimize for certain goals? And what does it mean for these systems to accomplish their goals? And you have some examples here as well to make this a little bit more clear. One anthropomorphic bias is to think in terms of what will the AI want? And this is anthropomorphizing because we may not have access to the space of all the different options of what the AI could want, exactly because we're not of the same intelligence. So this is strongly related to this question about how do agents end up optimizing for certain goals. So you'll continue reading this here, and you should think in terms of how do models that might be more capable than the human level intelligence allows could end up into different failure modes for humanity. And in the last paper for this week, you're going to read about how, even though we don't currently have human level intelligence, there are ways that we might get to human level intelligence. And you'll see here in a little more detail what that means exactly. And you probably remember from the first week of this course, this project of the good old-fashioned AI and how the systems did not really work at the time. But you probably also remember that now we have machine learning and deep neural networks. And very often, people make different claims about the levels of intelligence of models such GPT 3.5 or GPT 4. And they often argue that these models are capable of writing human level text of pretty good quality. And so is this something that we should consider as human level intelligence? So the recent developments in AI make us have some more questions than what was available at the time this paper was written here. Although the paper attacks some of the core arguments and questions in what would look like to get to human level intelligence here. Some of you that are more interested in biology or neuroscience or neuropsychology, you might be interested in how, from an evolutionary point of view, you get to a human intelligence level of brain, and what does this mean in terms of compute and computing power. And this flop unit here is meant to measure compute. And so these are all very interesting points in understanding what is the path exactly to getting to beyond human intelligence, where again, we do not have AGI right now. That's the consensus. There's no AGI system available. So one idea that people were excited about for a very long time is this whole brain emulation. What does this mean? It's the brain upload that you may have seen or heard about in different contexts. And it is something that's pretty interesting and could mean that we have enhanced human cognition, right? So assume it is your brain, but improved through some technological enhancement. And how that would happen exactly, we don't really have techniques for that. It has to do with having the technology to scan each area of the brain that would need to be uploaded and scan it in detail enough so that it captures and carries all the information that is necessary for that brain to be a functional upload. So here, depending on your background and interests, you can find more detail about how this technique would work. And of course, you're always encouraged to look up whatever we're learning, because there you will definitely find more up-to-date information about what's the current state of whole brain emulation. And it's definitely a very exciting field. So you get this proposal, I suppose, to get to superintelligence from this pathway, and this has this biological substrate. However, at the moment, we are closer to getting computers, so non-biological substrates, to become superhuman, and this is what we will be discussing further as we're trying to analyze how AI could have a negative impact on the future of humanity.